Yo guys, what is up? It's your boy TRUEDBZ back with another video, and today we actually got some good news for today. So if you guys haven't been on the internet, ArcSys just announced that the newest patch for Dragon Ball FighterZ is actually coming tomorrow on May the 23rd of 2023. So this is the patch we have been waiting for. A lot of the community has very high hopes for this patch because a lot of us are in a doomer state. So I do have the letter right here, and I'm just gonna break it down into paragraphs. I'm not gonna read it all, but there's several different paragraphs talking about each topic, and I will go over each. So the first paragraph here is just stating that the patch will be coming tomorrow. And it also says that the timing for the patch will differ with time zones and the systems that it's on, that being PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. So the timing will be different, but by the end of tomorrow on the 23rd, all of the patches should have been rolled out. The next paragraph talks about that the devs has taken a lot of information from the community and the pros at large for this patch. So this probably means, in my opinion, this probably means that a lot of the stuff we have been complaining and asking for them to change will actually be acknowledged, at least character balance wise. I don't know if they'll actually touch their system mechanics, even though I feel like that's probably the main issue. Is a lot of the system mechanics are just really annoying, but you know, even if they keep the system mechanics the same, there are a lot of characters that have a lot of dumb stuff in it. So if they've been listening to the community, then they know exactly what we want to see and how we want things to go. Now, whether or not they only nerf the top tiers is kind of in question here. We don't really know what the patch entails, so they could only nerf all the top tiers and then give everybody else small change. Who knows? But from what this paragraph is saying is that they've taken a lot of feedback from the community at large, and that this patch is kind of a reflection of what we've been asking for and what they could achieve with this patch. Okay, so the next paragraph is talking about, this is part 1 of 2 patches that will be released within the year. And I'm saying within the year because I'm pretty sure what they're going to do is this first patch and then rollback and then the next patch. And we'll get into rollback later on. But this note does say that there are going to be 2 patches for the game. The one patch that we're getting tomorrow, and then there's going to be another patch later on down the line based on how we communicate and tell them how this patch is and how the community is and how the competitive scene reflects this patch and all this stuff. So there is a second patch confirmed, and it will be based off of what our experiences are and how the competitive scene goes out. So the next paragraph is about the rollback netcode. So here it talks about the rollback netcode that's coming later on. They have confirmed in this letter that the rollback beta has been delayed. They haven't given us a date yet. So my assumption is that it's going to be near the end of summer. Probably around August, well, not August, what was it? It's May? So May, June, maybe July. I think July, August is probably the latest. We'll have to wait for the rollback beta. They haven't said anything about the full release of rollback netcode, but the beta they said is delayed, which by proxy means that the rollback overall update is being delayed. It also says okay, so yeah, I'm just rereading it, see if we have any sort of date, but they don't. They don't have any date. They don't say it's late summer or winter, nothing. They just said it's being delayed because of They want it to be the best it can be for the beta, and then that way, when they fully release it, they'll get it out a lot quicker. At least that's the message I'm getting here. So that's why they're delaying the rollback beta. Okay, and then the final part, or the final paragraph here, is talking about the Dragon Ball FighterZ World Tour. So they officially announced that the Dragon Ball FighterZ 2023 to 2024 World Tour will be beginning from this year's EVO into the next year. And they will be planning to support the game throughout the World Tour. Whether or not it's only including the rollback update and the next patch, or maybe we'll get new characters or something like that, but they definitely do say that they're going to support the game throughout this World Tour. So who knows, maybe we'll get new characters. I doubt it, but they're definitely willing to patch the game and improve its quality of life and overall character strength. So yeah, that's all the news we have for today. At this current moment in time, we do not have the official patch notes for this next patch. So I will be streaming tomorrow when the patch is fully released. I'm pretty sure PlayStation might get it early tomorrow morning, probably around 2-ish. I think, because I'm pretty sure that's how it was last time they did a patch. It was like really early in the morning. So by the time I get to stream, it's going to be late in the afternoon. So, you know, and I'm going to try and avoid the patch notes when they do release. I'm going to try and avoid it so I can be surprised. So with that being said, I really hope you guys try to, first off, manage your expectations, okay? I'm not coming into this patch thinking they're going to do 100% everything that the community wants, everything that I want to change, and that's kind of it. Like, manage your expectations. Don't 100% believe that the devs heard every single complaint from the community, and then also don't think that the community knows everything about Dragon Ball that needs to be changed, because some things are of differing opinions, but there are some universal things that we can agree with. But those differing things might be a good or bad depending on how they do things. So once again, manage expectations. Don't go into this patch thinking it's gonna save Dragon Ball FighterZ or it's gonna make Dragon Ball one of the best fighting games of all time. Cause come on now, it's ArcSys. And also, the character balance in this game is already pretty dang good. It's only, in my opinion, I've said this for a while, it's only like the top 5 to top 10, and then the bottom 5 to bottom 10 that really needs changes. Everybody else in the middle is pretty much perfect. Like, they all have their strengths and weaknesses, and they're good as characters. So I believe majority of the cast will just get changes, not really buffs and nerfs. They'll just get changes to make them feel different. But overall, I think this patch will just buff all the low tiers that we've been talking about, and then nerf all the high tiers, and everybody else will just get either quality of life changes or just like little things to help them reach higher. You know, I'm not expecting Krillin to come out with like an aerial level 1 or an air solar flare. You know, I'm not expecting that. Like, I'm not setting my hopes that high, right? So yeah, the first thing is manage expectations for this patch. And then secondly, please do return for my stream tomorrow. Once again, I'm pretty sure the patch will release early tomorrow morning, so I'm not going to get it until late in the afternoon because I have to work. So if you guys want to, please come on by to the channel. I usually try to stream around 8 o'clock in the evening. That's when it's most convenient for me, and you know, I will be going through each character in the patch notes, going over the system changes if there are any, going through all the character changes, and thinking, giving my final thoughts on it. When it comes to the rollback beta, I am very disappointed, but I do understand that they want it to be the best it can be, That way, when the beta concludes, then they don't have to do as much work to finalize it and get us the final release earlier. Because if they just released any old rollback beta and then it just completely flops, then it's like, well, you gotta figure out what's wrong and then try to build on that while trying to keep it in a good manner. Which at this case is like, we already knew rollback was going to take a long time to implement into Dragon Ball. Of course, we underestimated how long it would take, but it's taken very long, and honestly, at this point, in my opinion, it's going to come out when it's going to come out. Like, I'm not like most people where it's like, oh, it's any day now, it's any day now. I'm just kind of like, rollback comes out when it comes out. Like, I can't like be focusing on rollback for fighters when there are other fighting games I can be playing, or just other games in general, or, you know, stuff about the channel. You know, it's like, rollback will come out when it comes out, and if it's good, Dragon Ball FighterZ will live on as one of the best Dragon Ball games ever. If it doesn't, then, well, you know, it's still a good game, but, you know, the online sucks. So that's my thoughts on the beta. It's sad, but I understand. In terms of how they're going to be doing these patches, I think it's a good decision. Once again, taking into community feedback for these patches is a good thing. I'm not one of the people that are like, ArcSys should never listen to community because they're the ones that gave us half-screen normals and lariats and shit. Because, yeah, we did kind of ask for strong tools like that, but you gotta admit, on ArcSys' part, they went overboard. Like, you can't blame the community for how Dragon Ball is 100% of the time, because yes, the devs try to balance the game around what we want so we can have the most fun, but in the end, it is their decision to finalize it. If we tell them we want this to happen, but they understand that that's not good for the game, they can just say no, or not implement it at all and stick to it. But they let things rock, and that's how we got Dragon Ball today. So I think it's important that the devs actually listen to our feedback, and it's a good way of keeping us in the loop, you know, keeping us feel like us and the company are trying to make this game as best as possible, rather than them just doing whatever they want with the game and not hearing us out, or they're completely listening to whatever we say and then they don't have any idea of what game they want it to be, right? So it's like they're trying to find a balance here, and I feel like the way this patch is going to be viewed in the community is if they can balance it perfectly, right? Which it probably is not, right? There's going to be at least one character that's coming out of this patch that's going to be really, really good, whether it's a character that's already top tier or maybe a mid tier that gets buffed way too much. There's going to be a character like that, like, no doubt about it. But it's to the point where how well this patch goes across the community is whether or not that, first of all, they listen to us, and then secondly, they take that information and then properly balance it for the health of the game. Because they can listen to us all they want, but in the end, it's their game that they're modifying. So if they don't think that it's a big deal, or yeah, what they're asking is justified, but we don't want to turn it into that, we're going to do something else, that's also fine. So I'm very curious on how they've taken our feedback into this patch. So I'm kind of excited for that. And then also the fact that they're doing a second patch after this, based off our feedback of this patch and probably during the world tour, based on how the meta shifts and seeing how pro players pick teams and stuff, and how all that mixes together will create the next patch, which I don't know if it'll be the last one for the game, but if it is, it's kind of make or break with these next two patches, right? But of course, I don't know anything about this patch, but I'm very nervous. But I do feel a lot more comfortable seeing this note, right? If they just said, yeah, we're releasing two patches and the rollback will come out later. If they did that, then it's like, okay, now we really don't know what's going on. But the fact that they specifically said, we've listened to everyone's feedback, and we've taken a lot of stuff into consideration. Basically, it's kind of like, okay, they're trying to communicate in a way and try to feel us out, you know. And I'm feeling nervous but a little optimistic, right? Yeah, that's gonna be it for me today, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more Dragon Ball FighterZ content in the future. Yeah, please stay tuned for tomorrow, where I go over the patch and the patch notes. And yeah, can't wait. I'll see you guys tomorrow.